So when you were sitting on the bench for these big European games, which you did a lot,
Yeah.
to be fair,
Yeah.
is it difficult not to become a fan and get wrapped up in the emotion of Pittodrie?
It's a good question. I knew I had a job to do, and one of that jobs, because of going back, we didn't really have the goalkeeping coaches in that era. Me and Jim would always go out early. You know, we'd do a warm up, and we had a set routine that we knew we were going to do. And most of the time, it was me feeding him and making sure he was, you know, at match speed, rather than me being at match speed. I'd always stay out for a few shots before going back in, and you know, got myself sort of a good sweat on, which meant that, you know, again, I'd you know, done enough to be ready if there was an injury in the first minute or whatever. So yeah, so you know, I knew there was a job to do, but I also knew that, you know, I was fairly young to be in that sort of position. You know, I sort of looked around and watched at other clubs when we went to play them, that, you know, there wasn't too many other young goalkeepers in my position on the bench. So you know, I took it as a responsibility, you know, to go out and help Jim. You know, and that's something that we did, and he did for me. You know, he helped me throughout my career as well. When we were even training together, you know, we'd always sit and have a chat and talk about different things. So yeah, you know, but I mean, there was occasions when ultimately, you know, I was a fan. You know, those great nights and some of the comebacks that they had, and, you know, the great games against Ipswich. You know, you just got caught up in the whole, you know, sort of fervour of the crowd, and, you know, you'd watch Archie and you know, the boss jump onto the touchline, and, you know, you'd be doing the same on the side of the pitch. And, you know, I had an ulterior motive in the whole thing, because I knew I was going to get a win bonus at the end of it. So, you know, that was my sort of present at the end of it. You know, I had to do my job to make sure that I kept getting my win bonus at the end of it, the whole game.
See, for Gothenburg, so was it your role or part of your role to try and keep Jim fully focused? Because you must have had an inkling that you weren't going to play in the game.
Yeah, and again, I think that built up over the years that we'd been, you know, I'd been lucky enough to be on the bench, and we got through to those stages, and you know, I'm just talking at 83 now, so you know, that was 3 years that I'd been, you know, sitting behind him. I was 20, you know, so not quite 20. I was still 19 in Gothenburg. I was 20 in December. So yeah, again, you know, I was still very, very young, but at the same time ambitious. You know, I've been involved with Scotland youth teams and gone and played in tournaments myself, and, you know, done well in those games as well. So, you know, but it was something that I knew that Jim was going to be the number one. The build up, obviously, when we went over there, I think it poured down the night before as well, didn't it? It started the night before, because I can't remember us training in the rain when we got there. So, you know, the night before, and I don't think we did. We used to like doing things on the morning of a game, you know, just to even if it was just to go out and have a few shots, or if there was no training. So I can't remember us doing anything on the day of the game. And obviously the warm up was difficult that night because the pitch was saturated. We didn't want to use the goal mouse as well to, you know, sort of mess them up for the game. So I think we did a lot on the side of the goals. And yeah, just really, again, you know, that was another one where it was just sort of taking in the whole experience. And you know, to be even on the bench against Real Madrid at 19, you know, it's something that nobody can take that away from me. But, you know, so close to, you know, playing. If there was an injury, you know, I mean, it would have been an injury, or a loss of a contact lens, as we found out later in another in another European tie, which we'll maybe talk about. So yeah, but I mean, the job was to keep Jim as calm as possible. You know, again, if the manager had said anything to Jim, sometimes if it was negative, that I'd have to be in there and be sort of a good cop type, and sort of to say to him, no, I don't agree with him, or very much like a goalkeeping coach, but probably a young one in those days.
Okay, so just before kick-off and at half-time, did you speak to him at all, or is that a time
Yeah.
to just leave him to himself?
No. He, and again, he was like quite animated about going around the dressing room and wishing the players all the best. And I think we had a set routine that we would wait right till the end before we would do our little, good luck, big man, and let's get a clean sheet tonight and make sure you get me a bonus because I've got a Ford Cortina waiting back for me in Aberdeen. So, but and I think that was it. Go out there, and I mean, even at half time, it was Big Alex had that short pass back that got stuck in the water, and there was nothing Jim could do about it. He came rushing out, and I can't remember what his name was who got past him, but he got past them fairly sharpish and dispatched it well. So, I think that was one that in a normal circumstance, that ball would have come straight back to Jim, picked it up, and then got on with it.
Okay. At full time, obviously, we've won the cup, and there's that fantastic picture of you jumping for joy. But when you knock the gaffer to the floor, is there a fleeting moment when you think to yourself, oh my God, what have I done?
Well, we're still not confirmed who's done it yet, because I think we're scared to, just in case he retributes in his 38th year. But it is a picture that it does give a lot away. Archie sort of goes that way, Sir Alex goes that way, and I'm sort of cutting across the back of him. And but I think what proceeded from that was that everybody basically left him in the puddle. There's nobody picked him up. I think he had to get out of the puddle himself because everyone was just and it just happened so quickly. And I've managed to get myself into the pitch, and I was probably going to Big Jim thinking, yes, the Ford Cortina is in the bag. And then I turn around and the boss is running towards us, and he's got his Adidas coat on, but he's got this red ash because the levee was a speedway track, and on the motorbikes are normally on it, and it's red ash. So our dugout was in red ash. It was in the middle of the red ash, but it was just a puddle. So when he's going into it, it's just all this red water coming down his face. And he's coming towards me, and I'm thinking, oh no, that's it. Ford Cortina's gone now. But he just ran past me and went to Johnny Hewitt. And I don't think we've ever really talked about it until my testimonial match in '96 for against Manchester United. And I actually presented him with that picture. I gave him a picture that, we went back a long way, and thanks a lot for supporting me in my career. But I don't know if you remember this one, and I don't know if he's got it up anywhere, but it's one that it does feature. It features a lot in the scrapbooks, a lot of the pictures that have been captured with the dugouts and, the end of the final whistle. I think there is a YouTube VT of the game, and I think at the end of it you see him with his wet hair and I think he might have cleaned himself down by that time, but he's doing his first interview, but he never mentions it. I mean, thank God for that. He was too emotional about winning the cup and everything else to think about who tripped me up.
Who did you first run to at full time?
I'm sure it was Jim, but I mean, again, we'd have been Eric Black was on the bench because he was subbed. It was Dougie Bell, wasn't it? Ian Angus, Stuart Kennedy was on there as well. Roland Arnott, the physio, Archie. It was just pandemonium. We were all there, but I'd imagine my first mission would have been to Jim, definitely. Although video pictures may prove wrong. Might have been Johnny Hewitt as well.
Let's have a quick look at your medal. Just show me your medal. Still got it.
Okay. Unfortunately, the box is broken at the back, but that's not a problem.
Oh, that can be fixed.
The medal's here. Is it better that way? And then on the back, it's got where's the camera? Who's that there? He's got 1983. UEFA. I think they've obviously changed the style of what they give now. I mean, this is like they give them around the neck now, don't they? They're coming over the top and they put them in there. But this is nice just to find it again. You know, after about 10 years.
And that's your original club tracksuit from the game as well, right?
Yeah, that's my tracksuit from the game. Yeah.
Do you still have the goalkeeper shirt from the game?
No, I don't know where that went. I mean, obviously, that's a lot of charity stuff over the years, and I would imagine I might be wrong. I tell you what, I might be wrong, and I might have had it and given it away, or sort of signed it and it made some money. So me and Angus have got in the move here, we've got a big, massive holdall with our shirts in. I've not got many. He's got more than me now, even in his short career. So I just, I gave a lot away to charity, and I've got nothing framed on the wall. And my wife wouldn't let me do that now anyway. She's, she laughed at me when I came down with my tracksuit on tonight.